Having completed my documentary series, A Guide for the Isolated, I wanted to share the methods we used to create the show via a time-lapse of its creation. Hello, I'm Nigel Wimble. The footage you are viewing has been sped up quite considerably. It's a little faster than I would have liked, but I can assure you the editor has been disciplined appropriately and will be looking for employment on Monday. People often ask how I came up with the idea for the Guide for the Isolated series. It was simple really. I was isolated myself some time ago and buried under a pile of boredom and loneliness and crippling depression. It was a late September evening. My wife Samantha and I were set to travel to Nimbleton the following day to attend a winemaking seminar. We had packed earlier that day, remembering to include any extra shirts I may need in case I spilt any wine. Of course, I never had a chance to spill any wine since Samantha decided to leave me that evening. She said she had been seeing other men as in multiple mans, one of which was my brother Thomas, whom I no longer speak to. My journey into isolation begun as Samantha took her suitcase and left. In hindsight, a clever move to wait until we've packed before leaving, avoiding any crying, yelling, and packing a suitcase moments. I started to spiral immediately. I drank everything in the house that night. I started with the milk, 1 pint, 2 pint, 3 pint. I threw the empty bottle to the floor. It had done little to numb the pain. I reached for something stronger, an unopened bottle of Sunny Delight. The orange sugar produces a snapping sensation behind my eyes as I glugged it desperately. Suddenly, the pain of Samantha's departure is lessened, replaced with the pain of a stomach filled with milk and Sunny Delight. If you stand in certain spots, you can still smell the citric curds. It was a hard lesson in never to mix your drinks, and I have quit drinking altogether since the incident, instead surviving on a diet of moist food such as stew or savoury smoothies, or smootheries as I call them. Creating these drinks/meals, or drills as I call them, was one of the methods I used to cope with boredom and loneliness. I could lose hours looking for inventive ways to stay hydrated. Unlike Harold, I was nobody's prisoner but my own. I isolated myself for weeks and weeks. The boredom and loneliness was all-consuming. I looked for ways to cope, and in the end, it was quite simple. You see, I've made a lot of money over the years, and my house is full of entertainment, so boredom was easy to cope with. Loneliness, on the other hand, cannot be cured with expensive televisions or indoor basketball courts. However, I remembered I had a large network of friends and simply invited them over to play some basketball and watch a movie. The loneliness soon went away. I was at last free from the chains of boredom and loneliness, but I knew there would be others who would not be as fortunate as me, and still prisoner to isolation. I wanted to know how they were coping with boredom and loneliness, so I set out to make my show and learn as much as I could. I'm happy to say I learned a lot from people like Harold and may revisit the individuals in a few years' time. I hope you've learned a lot too from watching this glimpse into the making of award-winning journalism. I'm Nigel Wimble. Good night. sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, notes in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, notes in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, notes in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, notes in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, notes in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, notes in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, notes in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, not in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Here we are, sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, not in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Here we are, sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, not in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Here we are, sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, not in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads. Here we are, sitting in my car, my little plastic car, yes, here we are. Oh my car, my little plastic car, take me to the road and I'll sing this song. Old hot tar, not in my car, these tires are made for asphalt roads.